Hi, my name is Liz and I'm a developer evangelist at Twilio. One of my favorite ways of showing the magic of what Twilio can do is by making an omnichannel communications experience in 5 minutes or less. So that's what we're going to do together today. If you don't have any coding experience, it's completely fine. We'll be using something called Twilio Studio, which is a flowchart-like environment that has drag and droppable elements so you can create your entire app without having to write one line of code. First, we'll buy a Twilio phone number. After that, we'll set up our studio flow and hit publish. And then as the last step, we'll test out our app to make sure that everything works the way we want it to. So grab your laptop, log into your Twilio account, and let's go. Once you're logged into your Twilio console, it should look something like this. To buy our phone number, let's navigate over to the left-hand side of the screen with the products and services icon, which is a circle with 3 dots. From there, under Super Network, we'll choose phone numbers. Let's choose Buy a Number from this menu. You can search for a number in your area code or wherever it makes sense for you. One thing to note is that if you are trying to buy a phone number in another country, you may be subject to some different regulatory requirements. Just make sure that you have that all completed before you try to buy your number. Now that we own this number, I just want to point out 2 areas before we head over to the Studio console. You'll see that there is an area for voice and fax and another for messaging. We're going to come back to these in a little bit after we set up the flow. We purchased our phone number. Next, we're going to set up the Studio flow. Let's head over to the Studio console. Go back over to the products and services icon, and then this time we'll scroll down to Runtime and choose Studio from that menu. In the dashboard, we'll choose the Create a Flow button. There are some really amazing templates that you can use for Studio for things like creating a phone tree or a chatbot. We're not going to use any of those today, but it's a great place to start if you want to keep playing with Studio. Let's start our flow from scratch. If you want to pause the video now, you can take a moment to explore this screen a bit. This is the Studio Flow canvas. You can zoom in or out using these buttons, or if you're on a trackpad, you can pinch and zoom. Every Studio Flow canvas begins with this trigger widget. Today, we're going to use the incoming message section of this widget, and we need to connect it to a different widget. Basically, widgets are boxes that have different actions that tell our program what we want it to do. The first thing we'll do is say that when a message comes in, we want to send another message back and wait for a reply. If we scroll down here under messaging, we'll choose the Send and Wait for Reply widget. Now, if you see that a widget has this exclamation point, that means that there's something in the widget that needs to be configured and isn't done yet. Let's fix that here. It wants a message body. You can write whatever you want in here. I'm going to ask what someone's favorite emoji is because I think that's a fun question. Hit save on that. Next, we'll tell our program that after someone replies, we want to call them on the number that they replied from. Under the voice section here, let's choose the Make Outgoing Call widget. There's actually nothing that we need to do here. You'll see that we do have the exclamation point, and it's because we need to connect our widgets together using what are called transitions. Transitions are these connections between the previous widget and the next one. Let's go ahead and connect those now. Great, everything looks good to go. Lastly, once we call back, let's connect someone who called to a conference line. We'll choose the Connect Call To widget. If you go into the configuration for that widget, under the Connect Call To section, we can choose a conference. This will actually spin up a conference line for you. All you have to do is give it a name and hit save. And then make sure you connect this here. Great, I'm gonna zoom out and check over this to see if we have everything we want. Looks good. Now we have our studio flow complete. Okay, the last step is to publish our flow and connect it to our phone number, and then test it all out. Hit publish up here, and then let's go back over to the phone numbers console. Click on the number that you just purchased earlier. Let's scroll to the bottom of the page. Since we told our program that we wanted to trigger the flow using messages, under the messaging section, we are going to say when a message comes in, we want to connect to a studio flow, and then the flow that we will choose is the one that we just made. And hit save, and you should see this dialog box at the top that tells you the number was successfully updated. And now we are ready to test our number. All right, we have our number, and now it's connected to our studio flow. So the last step we have to do is just test it out to see if it works. The way that we'll test it is simply by texting into the number that you purchased. So when you text in, you should receive a reply, and then from there, you can reply back and you should get your phone call. If you want to try using the number that I purchased in this demo, you can also try the number on the screen, and if you've been following along, you should get the same results. In about 5 minutes, we were able to buy a Twilio phone number, set up a studio flow, and test everything out. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let us know what you're building in the comments. Subscribe if you're into that, and please watch the video that I have picked out for you next, which is going to walk you through how to set up a barista bot with Twilio Studio, and it expands upon a lot of the concepts that we started to explore today. See you later.